Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Angela joining me. Hi, Angela.
Hello, Amanda.
Guys, we have an exciting success story. Angela's going to share one of her personal success stories about how she changed around a situation to get what she wanted. And it happened quickly. And it was the smallest little shift. So this is for you if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you're waiting, if your manifestation isn't quite coming and you're questioning why, this video is going to give you some answers. So guys, just before I dive into it, I'm pretty sure some of you guys manifested this because we're giving away a free course. The course is how to find your blocks to manifest anything fast. And the link is in the description below. It's absolutely free. I created the course. We're getting some excellent feedback from it. And also, guys, Angela's available for coaching. Definitely check out the link in the description below. Her clients get really quick success. She's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited about this success story, Angela.
Thank you so much. So I have a family member that I was discussing our Christmas plans with for this year. And this family member has traditionally hosted our get-togethers for our family and everything. And so this year, I just made the decision that I was going to host our family get-together. We have family coming from out of town. My house was a little more centrally located. I am close to some other family members that live in our area. So I just made the decision that I was going to host. I had all these wonderful plans. I decided where everyone was going to stay and our dinners and all of that. And so I was sharing this information with my family member that traditionally or in the past has hosted. And this family member was not happy with my new plans, with my rearrangement of the schedule at all. And so as we discussed everything that I had in mind, we could not come to an agreement. We could not come to a solution. She wanted to do things her way. I wanted to do things my way. So we ended our call. This was several weeks back. And over the course of the next few weeks, I continued to create these arguments in my head as to why my plan was the best. I was trying to justify why I needed to do things my way, why my way was going to be best. And I just ruminated on this over and over and over, trying to convince this person in my thinking why I had the best outcome, why she should support me. And I finally had this thought that I am continuing to focus on this problem by trying to convince this person in my thoughts. I was focused on the thought that she didn't support me, that she did not want to do things my way. And it's just such a little subtle shift in the thinking, and I didn't pick up on it, for a little bit, but I finally realized I'm focused on the problem. So all I did was shift to what I really wanted to happen, which was I wanted her to support me. I wanted her to accept, my decision, my outcome. I just shifted from the problem to the solution, which she was in agreement with me. And as soon as I made that shift and I had that realization, I immediately felt better. I immediately felt like it was kind of lifted from me. The problem was solved. And it was just a few days then. This person reached out to me. She asked me again to, what was your plan? What was your idea? I told her, and she said, I love it. Perfect. We'll do it your way. It was so easy. It was just handed to me exactly like I wanted. And it happened just within a couple days after I took my eyes off of the problem and put them on the solution. And sometimes it's so easy to want to fix everything. We try to think about the problem, think about all the ways that we could make it better in the 3D, but what we're doing is we're really identifying with the problem. We're identifying with the thing that we don't like. And this is where it's helpful if you can talk with a coach sometimes, because I went over this on my own for a couple of weeks before I thought, oh, wait a minute. The answer is just to look at the answer. So sometimes a coach can really help make that very subtle shift into just looking at the answer. And that's all it took. And just within a couple days, I get the phone call and everything came in exactly as I planned.
Exactly. And you know what? I 100% agree with that. Like me, I've known about everyone as you pushed out for years since I was actually quite young in my teens. But it wasn't until my mid 30s that I was like, you know what? Like it was always like I knew about it, but I would like conveniently forget about it for months on end, make a bunch of mess in my life. And then finally in my early 30s, I really just wanted to have what I wanted in my life. And I actually went for 2 years of weekly coaching of everyone as you pushed out and mental diet. And it was like every week for 2 years. And it ingrained in me so much that I only temporarily forget for like maybe a second now. And then I'm back on it. So it completely changed my life. And of course, coaching isn't for everybody. We've got lots of videos to help you keep on track and to, but I mean, I do think it's great. And that's why, I've started Create Your Future to, make that available to people. But, I think one thing that, is you really pointed out really well in your story, Angela, is like getting clear on what you want. That I think is the biggest thing, because if we're not clear on what we want, then we're flip-flopping all over the place.
Okay.
And we can't make our mental diet and our, and stop focusing on the problem until we know where we want to go. Like, what's the outcome that you want? What do you want people to think? What do you want the people to do? Because everyone's you pushed out and you're constantly creating that, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it really is very simple. I think sometimes, like, this situation didn't have a whole lot of an emotional charge to it. And I think sometimes if we're dealing maybe with a romantic partner, a specific person, or maybe like a job or a boss, we tend to create that the situation is going to be more difficult. We tend to create that the old story somehow has power over us. We create that idea that maybe it's going to be a difficult thing to get to, but really everything can be just as simple as this situation. If you take that desire or maybe the person or the outcome off of the pedestal and just realize that you absolutely deserve to have it show up just as you want, because you are the God of your experience, you are the God of your reality, and so you have that right to have things show up the way you want them to. And nobody or nothing can really trump that when you begin to recognize that and begin to think from that perspective.
Well, exactly. How I do it, right, is, if I have a problem, I do review the problem a little bit, just enough to realize what I actually want and what my issues in there are, because your problem is going to be your blocks, basically, right? They're going to be everything. But, and then once you're like, well, okay, this is what I want instead. And then it's easy. So like, let's say, for instance, I remember somebody that every time they called me, I would absolutely cringe because I knew it was going to be bad. Of course, I knew it was going to be bad. I was creating it, right? And then, one day I was like, oh, what do I really want with this? Because I was like, oh, it's going to be bad. I know it's going to be bad. And then one day I was like, what do I really want with this? And I said, you know what? I want to get off the phone with that person and feel good. I want to get off that phone with that person and actually not want to get off the phone with them, enjoy the conversation so much that I want to stay on the phone with them. And then, every time I thought about that person, I thought, oh, we always have great conversations. I always feel good. And then the funny thing was, okay, one day they called me and I was sitting on the couch with Andrew, and Andrew knew how the conversations used to go. And he thought, when I got off the phone, he was like, who was that? Was that so-and-so? He actually named a person that I had good conversations with. And I'm like, no, actually it wasn't. It was this other person. And he was like, what? That was different. And I'm like, yeah. And it was just to the point where, because I started, every time I thought about the cringing of the phone call, I said, no, it's going to be good. Everyone's me pushed out. My thoughts create, this is what's going to happen. And I let go of, by saying that, I let go of the worry of the problem not changing. And then every time and then all of a sudden it just popped up out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, I'm like, okay. And it's been great ever since. And it's going to continue to be great because I'm creating that right this second. Right.
Yes.
So, there's so much power in identifying, like Neville says, he's like, get clear on your goal, because we don't know what a block is in your own life until you know what your goal is. Like, if I don't like Jerry, and then, or I don't want Jerry to like me, I don't care if he likes me, and I say Jerry hates me, that's not a block. But if I want to date Jerry and I want him to want to marry me, and I say Jerry hates me, that's a huge block. So we don't know what a block is until we know our goal, right? Just like your GPS. You don't know you've made a wrong turn until you put the address in the GPS, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you mentioned letting go of that problem, because it just seems like such human nature to focus on that problem. I don't know why we're so driven sometimes to focus, but it is good to identify it, and then you can recognize, wait a minute, I really don't want to experience this. And that's the important part then, is to look at what you do want and being very clear on it, because it helps you then focus on that beautiful end goal that's going to make you happy.
Yeah, isn't it weird? You know what I create, and this is made up by me, and I make this up by me because it makes me feel a bit better. So I say that we focus on the problem to find our solution. And so, I take the opportunity. So when I have a goal in mind, like say, wanting to do plans a certain way, I always make the meaning of, the problem showing up and me focusing on the problem, saying to me, these are the things that are stopping you from getting what you want. Focus on them long enough to figure out what you need to change, and then change that into positive intentions. That's why I'm a big promoter of the list. Write down your complaints and then cross them out. Write down your affirmations, your new intentions, your new thoughts, your new story, and focus on that. Rip up the old, right? Never read it again, because you've identified it. And you find, I think when people do that, they find that they don't have a lot of complaints. It's really just main 1 or 2 complaints. But as we go the problem over my head, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So when we sit down and really identify it, it's really not that big. It's really just 1 or 2 things. Like, I want to get my way, and I want everyone to see that my way is the best, because I am doing this for the benefit of everybody. So just identifying, really. So, but don't stay there. Don't stay there.
Yes. Absolutely.
Problem land is no good.
Right. Once you've identified it, now go with that new story. Now go with that new outcome. Now go with what you want, because you're going to now create that, and that will show up. It will show up.
Exactly. That is so amazing, Angela. Thank you so much for sharing that success story. I intend everybody got something out of this video.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much, Amanda. Yes.
And guys, you know what? All of us here, we intend that you get exactly what you want, and you manifest it, and you manifest it quickly. And I intend to see a whole bunch of success stories in the comments, because you guys are all absolutely amazing, and you deserve everything that you could possibly want. So thank you so much for being here today, Angela.
Thank you very much.
And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.
All righty. Bye.